Good evening, I'm Jacqueline Matter.
I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for being with us tonight. Topping our news this evening, a major announcement out of Tallahassee. Governor Rick Scott proposing $500 million to be put towards school security and law enforcement in the state.
Scott's three-part plan addresses current gun laws, mental health treatment, and school safety enhancements after input from state leaders in all three categories, including some from right here on the Suncoast. ABC 7's Adam Cellini joins us now with more on how some of those local leaders are reacting. Adam?
Yeah, Scott and Jacqueline, good evening. Bradenton Police Chief Melanie Bevan was among those who attended the meetings in Tallahassee to help put that plan together. Our local law enforcement agencies are still digesting what came out today. Many are not providing comment at this time, but some local school district leaders did take the time to share their own thoughts. Scott's action plan would send the largest chunk of money, $450 million, to schools, partly to establish funding for more guidance counselors, but he's also calling for more law enforcement officers in every public school by next school year, recommending one officer for every 1,000 students. Now, all public high school and middle schools in Sarasota and Manatee counties currently have school resource officers. Sarasota County School Board Chair Bridget Ziegler was part of the meetings as well this week and approves the current plan, along with another one of her colleagues who remains skeptical about the funding.
It was really refreshing to read it because you could tell the input that was provided was absolutely a part of that plan.
Knowing that House Speaker Cochran wants to cut taxes, I don't understand how it's going to happen. It needs to, but it's up to those three entities to resolve it.
Now, in a statement, the Sarasota County School District commended Governor Scott's quick action to put out a plan. They are supporting the governor's plan to increase school resource officers and develop an anonymous statewide hotline for students to report potential threats. Scott and Jacqueline, back to you.
All right, Adam, thank you. And as a safety precaution, the Manatee School District prohibited middle and high school students from bringing backpacks to school today. A closed meeting was conducted this afternoon, which included law enforcement from all over the county. This comes just a week and a half after the Parkland shooting that killed 17 people. Manatee School Board member Scott Hope says in addition to no backpacks for the day, the district is looking to take some immediate action.
We will be adding, I think, 34 school resource officers who are current full-time employees of either the Sheriff's Department, the Holmes Beach Police Department, the Palmetto Police Department, and the City of Bradenton Police Department.
The plan would double school resource officers in high schools and include officers at all other schools. The district also deciding today that students countywide will be able to bring their backpacks back to school on Monday morning.
More than a week after the school shooting in Parkland, we're now hearing more about what happened on that tragic day from those who saw the shooting unfold. We're also learning more about the events leading up to the shooting, even hearing what appears to be the alleged shooter on a 911 call just months earlier. ABC's Maggie Rulli has more.
Today, teachers are back on campus at Stoneman Douglas High School. The pain still raw. For the first time, we're hearing gut-wrenching accounts from first responders, many whose own children were inside the school that day.
My wife and my son, they both heard the fire alarm and decided to evacuate. They found each other.
And we're now learning new details about what happened in the months leading up to last week's shooting. A 911 call from someone who appears to be the alleged shooter about 3 months before the shooting happened. In it, someone calls to describe an altercation at the house he's staying in.
The thing is, I lost my mother a couple of weeks ago, so I'm dealing with a bunch of things right now.
The Broward County Sheriff's Office says they were called to the alleged shooter's former Parkland home 23 times. 2 of those calls were directly related to concerns that this person could potentially shoot up a school. The Sheriff's Department's now investigating those calls, as well as the response from a senior resource officer at the high school. When the shooting began, the deputy was armed, in uniform, and aware that an active shooter was on campus, yet he remained outside. Students across the country are standing behind Stoneman Douglas, and many met with top government officials this week, including Florida Governor Rick Scott.
My message to them has been very simple. You are not alone.
Today, Scott announced a new action plan that puts nearly $500 million towards a school safety program. The students and their families will be back on campus for an orientation this Sunday. To start, what the superintendent says is a week of transition for the students, getting them back together to try to find some level of normalcy. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, New York.
Remember, you can get updates on the latest breaking news instantly to your phone by downloading our app. You can go to the App Store, search for the words WWSB or My Suncoast.
We are almost to the weekend and some beautiful weather in store. Let's get a check from our chief meteorologist, Bob Harrigan.
Well, we had a few light rain showers. I saw a little drop here and there on my windshield this afternoon, and you can see from the Lakewood Ranch webcam, we've had nice weather today. Some sunshine around, a few clouds occasionally moving in from the southeast now. A little bit more of a southerly component to our wind flow, which will allow that sea breeze to penetrate further inland. And that means probably not as hot over the weekend as we've seen over the past 4 days as a result of that more southerly flow late in the day, which will allow that sea breeze to get going. 79 right now. We have a west wind at 8 when we had that record high 90 and also 88 degrees. That wind was still out of the east at this hour. You'll see that wind has really switched around more to a westerly direction. You'll see that in the Titan radar picture. There's the sea breeze. You see that line right there. It's not showing up down south, but believe me, it's further inland now than it has been. And that means temperatures are somewhat cooler, but a few brief showers not out of the question. What's happened is the high pressure ridge has slipped off to the east a little bit more and to the south, giving us that southeasterly wind flow. And this frontal boundary continues to cause all sorts of headaches into the mid-Mississippi Valley with some heavy rainfall there. We'll let you know if that front will have an impact on our weekend weather coming up in a few minutes. Back to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Bob. A large group of protesters are gathering outside of Congressman Vern Buchanan's office right now in downtown Sarasota. The Gun Reform Now group is pushing for lawmakers to do something about gun violence. ABC 7's Rick Adams joins us live now from Orange Avenue with more details. Rick?
Yeah, Jacqueline, good evening. We are right down the street from Congressman Vern Buchanan's office, and I'm joined by Clark West. He is a concerned citizen with Gun Reform Now. And Clark, what brings you out here today?
Well, basically, I am horrified at what has been happening in our country with guns, and recently the thing that happened in Marjorie in southern Florida, and it's time for change.
Now, you could do this anywhere. Why are you in front of the congressman's office here?
Well, because Vern is our legislative person, and we want him to know that his constituents want some change. As you hear in the background people chanting, we want these gun laws changed.
Okay, and we did hear from Congressman Buchanan's office, and he wants swift action taken to protect the students. What do you have to say about that?
Well, we'll just wait and see, and I hope to be pleasantly surprised, and I hope the swift action is at the very beginning, or at the very least, to ban the assault weapons that we had in place. And the crime and murders have gone up statistically since that was changed, and we want it. That's a good start. We want that to happen. We also want those loopholes in the background checks to change, and we want our congressman to listen to us, and we're tired of these deaths in schools.
Okay, Clark, thank you so much for your time. And the protesters have been out here since around 4 o'clock. They'll be here until 5:30, so another 20 minutes or so. And we'll have a lot more on this coming up tonight. Reporting live from downtown Sarasota, I'm Rick Adams. Back to you.
All right, Rick, thank you. New details about an overnight house fire in Sarasota. A police officer is being called a hero for saving a woman's life. Police say Officer Bjork was on patrol this morning when he smelled smoke. He then saw flames at a home on Goldenrod Street, right near the US 301-41 split. The officer checked the house and woke up the woman inside, made sure she got out safely. Firefighters were on the scene in less than 5 minutes, and crews say, thanks to the officer, there were no injuries. Good work.
Yeah.
Still to come in your Suncoast News, we'll have the latest on the Russia investigation, as former Trump aide Richard Gates is now cooperating with special counsel Robert Mueller.
And Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your first alert forecast. Plus, as child obesity rates climb in the U.S., what doctors are proposing to keep children healthy.
Our nation's servicemen and women show great courage and leadership both on and off the battlefield. When they transition to civilian life, they can apply the skills and values they learned in the military to the workplace. That's why the Coalition to Salute America's Heroes is urging employers everywhere to be smart, bet on a vet. Hiring a veteran is also a great way to show your appreciation for them. To learn more, call 1-888-44-SALUTE.
My name is Stephen Campagna. We're Ben Gates and Dramus, and here is your law tip of the week. If you've been injured in an accident, whether or not it's your fault, your insurance company might be responsible for some of your expenses. So give us a call. We've got your back.
Thousands of award-winning Honda Civics are on sale for $169 a month during the Honda President's Day sales event. You made Civic the best-selling compact car in America. Drive one today for just $169 a month, or save thousands on your Civic with 0.9% financing. Civic, a KBB.com Best Buy for less than the competition. Only $169 a month or 0.9% this week at your local Honda dealer.
Honda, I like it. Oh yeah, I like it.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Sarasota Opera's 2018 Winter Opera Festival is here, featuring Puccini's Manon Lescaut, Bizet's Carmen, Bellini's Norma, and D'Albert's rarely heard Tieflant. For more information, go to sarasotaopera.org.
Come experience the rugged capability and luxurious comfort of a new Ram truck and get big savings during Ram Truck Month at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Shop the area's largest selection of new Ram trucks. Get the all-new redesigned 2018 Ram Quad Cab for as little as $25,999. Or save big and get $13,300 off a new Ram Crew Cab. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota today.
My Hometown Fest is coming to Nathan Benderson Park Saturday, March 3rd. Join us for culinary favorites from across the U.S. paired with your favorite craft beers. There's also great live music and activities for adults and kids. Buy your tickets today at myhometownfest.org.
Former Trump deputy campaign manager Rick Gates was first charged last October and pleaded not guilty. Well, a day after the special counsel returned more charges, Gates has now decided to start cooperating with special counsel Robert Mueller. ABC's Tara Palmieri has more.
Today, President Trump's former campaign aide Rick Gates pled guilty to conspiracy and false statement charges, signaling that he's ready to cooperate with special counsel Robert Mueller. Before arriving at a federal courthouse in D.C. today, he wrote a letter to friends and family saying, quote, "I have had a change of heart."
He may be able to help Mueller put some of these pieces together with regard to the collusion that is the fundamental part of this case.
His guilty plea comes one day after he and his partner, former Trump campaign manager Paul Manafort, were indicted on 32 counts, including tax evasion and bank fraud. These charges are in addition to those filed against both men in October. They pled not guilty to those earlier charges. Gates is the latest Trump insider to strike a plea deal in Mueller's investigation into Russia's meddling in the 2016 election. Gates wrote, quote, "The reality of how long this legal process will likely take, the cost, and the circus-like atmosphere of an anticipated trial are too much." Gates and Manafort were charged with funneling $75 million into offshore accounts and then not paying taxes on $30 million of those funds. These crimes were alleged to have taken place when the two men were working on the Trump campaign and lobbying for pro-Russian Ukrainian politicians. The two men lived lavishly. According to the indictment, they spent $500,000 shopping in Beverly Hills, $200,000 on 4 Range Rovers, and $800,000 in landscaping. Rick Gates could face more than 5 years in prison, but cooperating with Mueller could spare him some jail time. The exact terms of the deal are unclear. Tara Palmieri, ABC News, Washington.
Today, President Trump addressed some of his most ardent supporters on a range of topics. Speaking at the Conservative Political Action Conference in Maryland, the president focused on school safety in the wake of the Florida school shooting. President Trump called for stronger background checks, especially for the mentally ill, and he once again argued for allowing some teachers to carry concealed firearms.
Like if this guy thought that
other people would be shooting bullets back at him, he wouldn't have gone to that school. He wouldn't have gone there.
President Trump appealed to his conservative supporters to get out to vote in this year's midterm election. The president also announced new sanctions against North Korea, trying to pressure Kim Jong-un to curtail his nuclear and ballistic missile program. Historic flooding in the Midwest is about to get even worse. Rivers are rising with more rain falling. Floodwaters could crest at the highest level in decades, and families are fleeing their homes, fearing the worst. ABC's Candace Gibson has the latest.
This morning, severe weather in the Midwest turning deadly. At least 6 deaths are blamed on storms bringing snow, ice, and heavy rain as rivers now push to record stage.
Oh, it's just crazy. I can't believe how much it has risen.
Along the Ohio River, the water is halfway up to street signs. Fire hydrants are nearly submerged.
It's pretty high for its normal rate. I know that. I've never seen it this high.
This photo of Cincinnati taken on the Kentucky side of the river, which is expected to reach its highest level in more than 20 years. In Indiana, rescuers pulled these horses to safety after nearby rivers reached historic levels, and the water will only continue to rise this weekend. In Elkhart, Indiana, the high school football field is now a lake. Evacuees in town have filled at least one shelter to capacity. In Lansing, Michigan, a state of emergency has been declared as people rush to evacuate.
Packing clothes, packing food, whatever I can get out of here, I'm getting out of here.
And over in nearby Niles, the town's main road is passable only by boat.
And I've seen it flood a little bit here and there. Highland Park always floods, and this is incredible.
Several homes have been surrounded by feet of freezing water.
We can't even get to our house without full waders on. This water's freezing cold.
The flooding is pushing east. In Pennsylvania, a police officer had to be rescued from the roof of his patrol car, submerged in floodwaters.
There was heavy water in the area. Police vehicle was probably about 100 yards out and in the water.
Candace Gibson, ABC News, New York.
Wow.
Yeah, quite a difference from what we've been experiencing. We've been so dry here,
right?
But it's just not a never-ending rain.
As we've talked all week long, it's all kind of the same package. The high-pressure ridge, which is dominating our weather, is pumping moisture up into that area you just saw. Here's a look at the latest rainfall as you see it. Lots of rain occurring across parts of the central portion of the mid-Mississippi Valley right now. You can see that rain steady in Oklahoma, spreading toward Arkansas now, and again into Mississippi. Here is a look at all the flood warnings. Now, these are warnings, the area in the bright green that you see from northeast Texas through central Arkansas all the way up into western portions of Kentucky, and then all those lines there indicating river flooding going on throughout Indiana up near Elkhart, and to the west of that we have some problems too. There's that flood warning. You see a large area all the way to near Memphis. And then winter weather advisories, we're talking freezing rain up to almost 6 inches of snowfall from Omaha into east Nebraska and also into parts of North Dakota and South Dakota. Well, for us, some showers have been around, some very light rain showers pushing on through, but all in all, a nice day today. Again, lots of sunshine this morning, a few clouds this afternoon, bringing an occasional sprinkle here and there, but calm conditions out on the waters, a lot of boaters out there. Beware, the manatees are going to be on the move a little bit more so out there in the waters as a result of the warm temperatures in the Gulf of Mexico and the Bay now into the mid-70s as far as those water temperatures go. Warm weekend ahead, not as hot as it has been. In terms of record-breaking high temperatures, probably not going to be the case as a result of a more south to southeasterly component late in the afternoon. A few showers are possible in the afternoon, especially on Sunday. Now, Sunday, the chance of rain is not all that high, but there's a possibility of a few spotty showers around, especially on Sunday. Slightly cooler weather comes next Friday. So at this time next Friday, we should see temperatures as opposed to mid-80s to lower 80s into the mid-70s to upper 70s. Still above average, but just a wee bit cooler. Well, water vapor imagery showing that dry air in place in the upper levels of the atmosphere, and that will be the case, I think, through the weekend. So we're not going to see any kind of additional moisture come into play, just that low-level moisture, which brings us those low-top showers, indicating we don't get a lot of vertical extent to the storms or showers that do try to develop on the sea breeze front. Current conditions, we have partly cloudy skies, 79 in the temperature. We have a west wind at 8 and the pressure 30-24 way up there. And that continues to stay fairly strong, although not quite as high as it was just about 12 hours ago. 63 in Jacksonville now, 62 in Orlando. That's the dew point temperatures, and these numbers are starting to drop a little bit on the northeastern portion of the state. We're still high here at 67. Dew point temperatures give you an indication of how cool things may get, and not too cool overnight. We're expecting lows down into the mid-60s. Futurecast does show a few spotty showers possible this evening. Tomorrow we'll start off with sunshine, and some clouds will start to develop late in the afternoon, similar to what we saw today, with a possibility of a few lone showers developing. But more rain in store as all this moisture heads off toward, unfortunately, Indiana, Illinois, parts of southern portions of Minnesota as well. Well, here are the look of the temperatures. Extreme cold over the northern Rockies and the northern Plains states now, but much warmer currently in Cleveland, 61. They've been on a roller coaster ride with temperatures in the low 70s earlier the week, then went to highs only into the 40s, and now back into the low 60s there. 47 in the nation's capital. They were at 80 just 3 days ago. Southeast winds turn to the southwest at 5 to 10 knots, and seas will be 1 to 2 feet with a light chop on the bays and inland waters. The water temperature now at 76 degrees and the UV index at 7. Well, here's the 7-day forecast as we see it. So a high tomorrow, 83, still warm, still above average. Our average high right around 75, and temperatures staying there. 30% chance for a shower on Sunday. 20% for a late day shower on Monday. Temperatures still into the low 80s to wrap up the month of February, which, by the way, will go down as the warmest February on record here along the Sun Coast, with no doubt that it'll actually surpass the old mark by a considerable amount. Back to you.
I would think so. All right, Bob, thanks so much. Let's check first alert traffic. We're seeing some backup on US 41 in Venice. This is right near Center Road. That area is looking a little congested at this hour as people try to get home for the weekend. Jacqueline?
Thanks, Scott. In health news tonight, parents know it, doctors know it. Kids who weigh more have medical issues, and rates of childhood obesity in the United States continue to climb. With more, here's ABC's Kenneth Moten.
Michelle Obama tried Let's Move and a White House garden full of vegetables. Doctors tried explaining that overweight kids tend to turn into overweight adults with oversized medical problems. But rates of childhood obesity continue to climb, according to a new study in pediatrics. Looking at children from 1999 to 2016, there's a significant increase in severe obesity among preschoolers. Blacks and Hispanics have the highest rates, white and Asian children lower. Excess weight contributes to risk for cancer, for heart disease, and for early death in general. But it's a public health issue that any parent can tackle, getting kids to move more and change their food choices. We all want children to have a future with the lowest risk of major illness possible, and it's time to put our healthier food where our mouth is. With this Medical Minute, I'm Kenneth Moten, ABC News.
According to the CDC, nearly 100 children have died from flu-related conditions in the U.S. since the beginning of this year's flu season in October. Still, the CDC says the deadly grip of the flu season appears to be weakening. The percentage of people who visited a doctor complaining of a flu-like illness is down, that number dropping by more than 1%. That's the first time that the agency has seen a drop this season, but doctors are not ready to say that the season has peaked, as 39 states are still seeing high levels of flu activity. And many of us can't or even won't start the day without a cup of coffee or hot tea. But are you being health conscious when you grab for that warm mug? Whether you prefer tea bags or like to go loose leaf, tea can be a deliciously healthy drink. For coffee, adding extras can add unnecessary fat and calories. Try switching to a small amount of honey, agave, or even stevia for your tea. And if you like your coffee creamy, use 1% or non-fat milk. Low-fat soy, almond, or rice milk are all good alternatives, but they are lower in protein than cow's milk. And some people swear by adding 2 tablespoons of butter or coconut oil to their coffee. They say it increases energy and improves weight loss. Coming up, a fire destroys an entire garage of school buses in Pennsylvania, and Indiana students spread more than 5,000 acts of kindness. Those stories when we come back.
Fact: the top 3 Marriott hotels in North and South America are on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, according to a recent survey of 363 Marriott hotels. The Marriott at Grand National, the Marriott Shoals Hotel, and the Grand Hotel. And 2 of the top 3 Renaissance hotels are also on the trail: Ross Bridge in Birmingham and the Battle House in Mobile. Southern hospitality still rules. For reservations or information, visit rtjgolf.com/resorts.
SRQ Performance Parts provides parts and accessories from over 300 manufacturers, so you can get that new manifold, carburetor, gasket, bolt kit, or nitrous oxide system fast. We'll help you beat the competition. Call or visit SRQ Performance Parts online today for all your high-performance parts and advice.
If you've never truly loved your car, you've clearly never owned a Subaru. Subaru is Kelley Blue Book's 2017 most trusted brand, best overall brand, and lowest 5-year cost to own. And Subaru Forester is an IIHS top safety pick for 12 years running. Now lease the most award-winning small SUV, a new Subaru Forester for just $219 a month, or get 0% financing with 0 down during the Subaru True Love event. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Loaded with big laughs, colorful characters, and the songs that made the 20s roar, Bullets Over Broadway is bringing musical theater back with a bang. Your attendance is requested at the Players Center for this wild Broadway musical opening February 21st. Call the Players at 365-2494 or visit the website at theplayers.org. This is one Broadway show that is sure to knock 'em dead.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
A promise was made. A promise that hit the beaches of Normandy. A vow that captured Iwo Jima. A contract that weathered Tet. A pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq. An IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar. A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
Keep up with the Suncoast. Watch your favorite ABC7 shows on your streaming device.
An 11-year-old child was killed this morning in a house explosion in Dallas. It happened just before 7 o'clock, just north of Dallas Love Field. 4 other people are also being treated. A neighbor says she was sleeping when she heard what sounded like a big bomb. According to neighbors, there have been 2 other fires or explosions in the same area over the past 2 days.
Students in Township, Pennsylvania got a long weekend after classes were canceled at all schools in the district. A large fire early this morning in the bus garage meant transportation could not go out to pick up students. More than 70 firefighters battled the flames, which damaged 25 buses. Some neighbors even reported hearing blasts, which fire crews say were tires exploding. No one was hurt in that fire, and investigators are looking into how it started. Well, one is Black Panther's fictional nation of origin, and the other is a small Midwestern town. See if you can guess which is which.
Jeremy Roth has more in today's Take a Look at This.
This is Wakanda, the fictional African nation from the blockbuster movie Black Panther. This is Wakanda, Illinois. They are not the same place. I'm saying this because officials of the small town have been getting some curious calls from fans of the film. The executive assistant to the mayor told The Hollywood Reporter one caller grilled her over where the town was hiding its vibranium. Vibranium is the fictional metal from the movie, known for being stronger than any other. Another caller reportedly phoned to confirm the pronunciation of the town, then shouted, "Wakanda forever." There was also a suggestion to change the town's high school mascot to, you guessed it, a Black Panther. But the school's principal said the current mascot, a bulldog, will remain for now. Students at this Indiana high school are spreading positive messages to one another, and the timing couldn't be better. Positive thoughts and words of encouragement adorn students' lockers at Carmel High School, all 5,100 of them.
Today is the start of something great.
You don't need a reason to help people.
Be the type of person you want to meet.
It started as a challenge by administrators to students for random acts of kindness. The result was overwhelming. And while the messages were planned prior to the tragic shooting in Parkland, Florida, everyone agrees that these acts of kindness couldn't have come at a better time. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
I love that. I think we should all take a note out of their book, because that is definitely something we all should probably try and do a little more of.
Acts of kindness, very powerful. Still to come in your Suncoast News, a look at crimes in the city of Northport after the release of its annual crime report.
And how a quaint Sarasota community is reacting to the news of a neighbor indicted for storing tons of explosives at his home.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Monday at 4 on Suncoast View. It's Suncoast wedding season. I'm Stephanie Roberts. On Suncoast View, we'll talk this year's trends from flowers to formals with one of the Suncoast's top wedding planners. The Suncoast opioid crisis is impacting our very youngest. Johns Hopkins All Children's tells us about their neonatal unit. Plus, Manatee School for the Arts previews their musical Godspell and the new Siesta Key Summer House Steak and Seafood in the Kitchen. Monday at 4 on Suncoast View.
Coast Guard, we are taking on water.
The United States Coast Guard. They secure our ports and waterways, protect our environment, keep drugs away from our kids, and save lives. It's dangerous work. And in times of triumph or tragedy, the Coast Guard Foundation answers the call to support Coast Guard members and their families. Learn more at coastguardfoundation.org.
Everything all right? Actually, you know how Tom had knee surgery? Sure. We found out Brad's been taking his painkillers. And it turns out he's been doing it for a while.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator. There was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs, stop the crimes.